Welcome, dear brothers and sisters, to comments for the Jehovah's Witnesses meeting. In this video, which we hope you will enjoy, we will examine apply yourself to the field ministry for the week of September 28th, October 4th, 2026, with practical examples for all assignments.
Assignment: starting a conversation. Duration: 3 minutes. Objective: offer a Bible study to a person who is concerned about extreme weather. Lesson: empathy, listen attentively. Bible text: Isaiah chapter 35, verse 1, 7, publication: Enjoy life forever. Situation or setting: informal witnessing. At a garden center, two women are waiting to pay at a garden center. One of them is holding a plant and comments that she needs a variety that can withstand extreme temperatures.
Excuse me, do you know if this plant handles heat well? Last summer almost all the plants on my balcony died.
I'm not sure, but the label says it needs little water. I'm looking for a hardy one too.
It's getting harder and harder. Some months we have unbearable heat, and then very strong storms come.
That's true. Did the last storm cause problems in your area?
Quite a few. The garage in my building flooded, and my daughter's school closed for 2 days. Now she gets scared whenever she hears a weather alert.
It must be hard to see her so worried, especially when you don't know what might happen either.
Yes. I try to reassure her, but I'm scared too. It seems like the weather is getting more extreme.
That's understandable. When it affects our home or our children, it stops being just a news story.
Exactly. Everyone argues about who is to blame, but no one offers a final solution.
You're right, we all want a safe place to live. There is a Bible promise that describes what God will do with the earth. May I show it to you?
Yes, of course.
Isaiah chapter 35, verse 1, 7 says that the wilderness and the parched land will exult, and that the thirsty ground will become springs of water. What picture does that bring to your mind?
A restored earth, without so much drought. It sounds beautiful, although I'm not sure whether it should be taken literally.
That's a good question. I wouldn't expect you to believe it just because I say so. The Bible contains several promises about how God will restore the earth, and we can examine them in context.
I had never thought that the Bible talked about the environment.
It also explains why God will not allow the earth to be destroyed. We offer a free Bible course that looks at that question.
A whole course? I have very little time.
We could try a 10-minute conversation about what future awaits the planet. There are no tests and no obligation to continue.
I could manage 10 minutes, but I'd rather read the lesson first.
Perfect. We can exchange numbers, I'll send you the lesson, and next week you can tell me which part was hardest for you to believe.
All right. I'm interested in seeing what reasons the Bible gives.
Great, and I hope this plant survives better than the previous ones.
Assignment: following up. Duration: 4 minutes. Objective: offer a Bible study to a parent. Lesson: empathy, use information that is helpful to the person. How can your family be happy? Part 2. Bible text: Colossians chapter 3, verse 21. Publication: Enjoy life forever, suggested. Situation or setting: informal witnessing. In the waiting area of a music school, two mothers meet each week while waiting for their daughters to finish music lessons. In an earlier conversation, one of them explained that her daughter had become very withdrawn since changing schools.
Hi Laura, how is your daughter doing? Last week you told me she was having trouble adjusting to her new school.
She's about the same. When I ask what's wrong, she says nothing and shuts herself in her room.
It must be upsetting to see that something is bothering her and not know how to help.
Very much. I try to talk to her, but in the end she gets angry and tells me I'm putting too much pressure on her.
It must be hard to find the balance between giving her space and making sure she's okay.
Exactly. Sometimes I push too much because I'm worried she may be getting bullied or that someone has done something to her.
It's completely natural to want to protect her. Have you noticed any time when she seems more willing to talk?
Sometimes she starts telling me something when we're in the car, but right away I ask too many questions and she shuts down again.
At least those moments show that she wants to communicate with you. Maybe she needs to do it little by little, without feeling that she has to tell you everything at once.
Maybe. I've read a lot of advice online, but some say you should keep asking and others say it's better to wait.
I can see why that would be confusing. After what we talked about, I remembered a very brief Bible principle about children becoming discouraged. May I show it to you?
Yes.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 21 says, "Fathers, do not be exasperating your children so that they do not become downhearted."
Now I feel a little guilty. I probably exasperate her when I ask so many questions.
I didn't show you that verse to make you feel guilty. On the contrary, the fact that you're looking for the best way to help her shows that you're a caring mother. The verse acknowledges that even parents who love their children can unintentionally make them withdraw.
That's true. But how can I show her that I care without pressuring her?
That's a very practical question. The Bible advises us to listen before speaking and to avoid correcting someone when we're angry. That doesn't mean ignoring the problem, but creating an atmosphere where a child feels safe enough to express herself.
That would help me, because I admit that sometimes I respond too quickly.
The free Bible course has a lesson called, "How Can Your Family Be Happy?" It includes advice on communicating with children, training them with love, and protecting them.
Would my daughter have to study it too?
No, you can start on your own. Later, if she becomes curious, she could join you, but it isn't required. The course can be adapted to each family's needs.
I'm interested in the part about communication, but I don't have time for another weekly commitment.
Since we always wait here for about 20 minutes, we could use part of that time. Next week, we could look at just one suggestion, and you can decide whether it's useful.
I could do that.
Perfect. I'll bring the lesson on my phone. We can start with one question. How can parents show love when they talk with their children?
That sounds good. Maybe it will help me listen to her differently.
I'm sure your concern and patience mean a lot to her, even if it's hard for her to show that right now.
Assignment, what would you say? Duration, 6 minutes. Objective, mental rehearsal of a house-to-house conversation based on the picture. Lesson, sincere interest, be observant. Bible text, Psalm 127:3 picture. Situation or setting, auditorium. A mother and her young son are standing in the doorway of their home.
In this assignment, I'm going to imagine that I'm preaching from house to house and a mother opens the door with her son. What could I observe, and how could I use that information to start a natural conversation? Point 4 of Lesson 1 in the brochure Love People Make Disciples encourages us to be observant. Before we speak, we should ask ourselves what the person is doing and whether it is a good time to talk. Looking at the picture, I see that the woman is answering the door while caring for her son. That gives me an important subject that may matter to her, her child's well-being. However, I shouldn't assume that she is ready for a long conversation. I would also notice her attitude. If she seems relaxed and the child is comfortable, I might ask a brief question. But if the child needs her attention, I should keep it very short or return another time. Based on what we see, what question could I ask to start the conversation? I could say, many mothers and fathers tell us that raising children brings great joy, but also worries. In your opinion, what do children need in order to grow up happy and secure? The question does not assume that the woman shares my beliefs or put her parenting to the test. It gives her a chance to talk about something that matters to her. She might say that children need love, stability, and time with their parents. I could commend her. I agree. Even though they need material things, feeling loved and being able to trust their parents is essential. She might also say that the hardest part is teaching them good values because of the influence of the internet and social media. Then I could ask, what quality would you especially like your son to keep as he grows older? She may mention respect, honesty, or the ability to make good decisions. Her answer would help me choose a Bible thought related to her concern. What scripture could I show her? One simple option would be Psalm chapter 127 verse 3. Look, sons are an inheritance from Jehovah, the fruit of the womb is a reward. I would choose this verse because it conveys a positive, warm idea. In a first conversation, I would avoid a passage that might sound as if I were correcting the mother. My goal would be to arouse her interest, not make her feel that I'm evaluating how she raises her child. I could introduce it by saying, I like this verse because it shows how God views children. Then I could ask, what stands out to you about God viewing children as an inheritance or a gift? If she says that she likes the thought that her son is precious to God, I could say, I do too. And if God views children as a gift, it makes sense that he would want to help parents care for and train them. From there, I would explain that the Bible doesn't just tell children to obey. It also tells parents not to exasperate or discourage them, to listen to them, and to train them with love. The person might object that raising children today is much more complicated than it was in Bible times. I wouldn't contradict her. I could answer, that's true. Parents today face problems that didn't exist in the same way centuries ago. Then I would explain that Bible principles do not mention every modern technology, but they do address needs that never change. Listening, showing love, setting reasonable limits, and teaching good values by example. If the mother seems interested, I could show her the lesson, how can your family be happy? Since the child is waiting, I wouldn't try to start a course at the door. I could say, I can see that you're busy right now. If you'd like, another day I can show you in 10 minutes one Bible suggestion for communicating better with our children. If the woman gives only brief answers or the child needs attention, I would respect the situation. I could show her where to find the information on jw.org and say goodbye. This mental rehearsal reminds me that being observant means more than simply looking. I need to use what I see to show sincere interest, without jumping to conclusions. The child's presence could give me a natural opening to ask about parenting, and Psalm chapter 127, verse 3 would show that God values children. That the conversation would depend on the mother's response and on whether it is a good time. The key would be to observe, listen, and adapt the conversation to what interests her. That way she would sense that I'm sincerely interested in her and her family.
Great, dear brother or sister, we've reached the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it and we'll see you next week. Before you go, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and if you liked it, you can share the video or follow our posts on our official website, commentariosperaleRuni.ntj.com. You'll find the link in the video comments. Warm regards.